A very good afternoon to you viewers and listeners. It's Adarish Barrow on the news desk on Zim Social Network. Thank you once again for joining me. The purpose of this news session at this particular moment is to review to you what Professor Jonathan Moyo tweeted on his Twitter yesterday, exposing the corruption that has been happening in ZANU-PF that involves our very own President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The very first tweet that got our attention is the one Professor Jonathan Moyo posted yesterday that reads, "Tonight at 10 p.m., 2200 hours Zimbabwean time, I will post a 14-tweet thread on why Mnangagwa fired Fortuné Chasi yesterday. Forget ZESA affairs with Gata or the mouth-watering debauchery tales of Mnangagwa and Gata with the Mayale girls is serious stuff worse than corruption." This that I'm going to read is according to Professor Jonathan Moyo. Why Chasi was fired. Below and in the next hours, days, weeks or month, I will share with you the true story of why Mnangagwa yesterday criminally fired Fortuné Chasi as the Minister of Energy, Power and Development. The criminality involves theft of at least $1.2 billion. In the statement that announced Fortuné Chasi's dismissal yesterday, Chief Secretary to the President and the Cabinet, Dr. Mishek Sibanda, said Chasi's conduct of government had become incompatible with the President's expectations. It's very important to unpack this. Chasi's conduct of government, business, was incompatible with Mnangagwa's expectation. In one respect, in two cases, which cost him his cabinet post. Chasi did not want ministerial decisions made for him. He wanted to make or recommend decisions and take responsibility for them. Whereas Chasi, as an experienced lawyer and ethical public servant, believed that he must make, recommend, and take responsibility for his ministerial decision. Mnangagwa's expectations are that cabinet ministers must implement presidential decisions and seek guidance if in doubt. It struck that Sidney Gata was appointed to ZESA by Mnangagwa and thus imposed on Chasi. Gata and Mnangagwa are notorious polygamists who are married to Mayele sisters, vivacious Chipinge beauties from Mutema communal lands, Gata to Angeline and Mnangagwa to Moline. In May 2019, Mnangagwa ordered then Tourism Minister Mufumira to appoint the Emma Board, his customary wife Moline, sister to Gata's wife Angeline Mayale, with whom they have several children. So Mnangagwa did not expect Chasi to cause Gata's removal from ZESA. While Gata was imposed by Mnangagwa to be ZESA executive chairman, and while the imposition wounded him as minister, Chasi sought to exercise oversight at ZESA and rein in Gata on corporate governance issues to combat corruption. But his bigger problem was at NOIC. Viewers and listeners, I'm reading through what Professor Jonathan Moyo has to say on his Twitter yesterday. He was exposing the corruption that has been happening in ZANU-PF. That involves our very own President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Moving on. In May 2019, before Chasi was appointed the Energy Minister, Sotic International signed a 65-page deal with NOIC for Sotic to advance a loan of $1.2 billion to guarantee that there's always 135 million cubic liters of fuel in the pipeline at Masasa to meet Zimbabwe's fuel needs. Under the deal, the $1.2 billion loan would be paid back with interest over a 10-year period in monthly installments of $12 million. And NOIC assets were mortgaged to secure the loan. In effect, by the deal, Sotic took over NOIC, its assets, and ran all its operations. When Chasi became the energy minister, the $1.2 billion advance payment had been paid. All NOIC assets had been mortgaged as collateral for the advance payment. Sotic was running NOIC and demanding only forex for the fuel, thus making it unaffordable for the majority of the locals. without having been briefed on the Sotic agreement, and thus unaware of its architects and its beneficiaries, Fortuné Chasi got the deal investigated. Chasi's investigation found out that the deal was comprehensively and shockingly detrimental to the national interest on every score. Either bravely or naively, after his investigation, Fortuné Chasi sought an alternative to the Sotic deal and negotiated it with Glencore, but no alternative was possible to implement without costing Sotic its $12 million a month or refunding the $1.2 billion advance. Criminally, the Sotic $1.2 billion was structured by SB Moyo, who got $12 million for structuring it and was sent to NOIC after it has been already approved by Emerson Mnangagwa, by Finance Zim, and by the Reserve Bank at Reserve Bank Zim, with $1.2 billion paid to private accounts. So Fortuné Chasi was fired not because of ZESA affairs, but because his conduct in investigating and seeking to cancel the $1.2 billion Sotic deal at NOIC is incompatible with Mnangagwa's expectations as a beneficiary of the Sotic deal, along with SB Moyo and Kudata Gwirei. In summary, in May 2019, Mnangagwa and SB Moyo stole $1.2 billion disguised as a state loan from Sotic International, fronted by Kudata Gwirei. The theft was structured by SB Moyo, using NOIC assets as mortgage. Chasi found out, tried to reverse it, and got fired yesterday. Viewers and listeners, this is the detailed story regarding the minister's exposes, whereby Professor Jonathan Moyo was exposing the corruption that has been happening in ZANU-PF that involves our very own President Emerson Mnangagwa. My name is Adoris Brian. Thank you so much for tuning in to Zim Social Network. Until next time, bye-bye.